Greetings, everyone. This is Payman Lorenzo, your host of the Leader Up podcast. Today, I have a really special guest. Well, all my guests are special, but this is even more special because not only she's a lady that got connected to me through our wonderful common friend and publisher, Mary Gooden. She also did a book in September. What is it? Soul Love, based on her
Yes.
podcast of the same name. That's special, just like I'm doing the same thing. But also, this is the first episode on my this is the episode 301 episode. So that's amazing. I'm super,
Oh, wow.
yeah, so super,
I celebrate you for that. That's
thank you.
amazing.
That's why it's very special for two reasons, only because of
Yes.
who you are, because of the, you did a book just like me, you're inspiring me, giving me some more fire
Yes.
to fill my book. And also, you're the first episode of the next 300 episodes, So anyways, I'm very
Yay.
happy. A little bit about Kim. She's from Holland, and she's got a beautiful story. First of all, she channeled a book in 20 hours, a book. And I was feeling like I'm the big shot because I wrote my chapter of 2,000 words in 3 hours. And this lady just channeled an entire book in 20 hours. Like, wow.
Yeah.
And then more about her. She overcame. She had a chronic disease for 5 years. I mean, that she overcame herself, healed herself 5 years ago. And now she's sharing the lessons, the gifts, the beautiful wisdom from that now with others through a podcast called Love Soul, or Soul Love. Was it Soul Love?
Soul Love.
Soul
Yes.
Love, yes, not Lost Love. No, that's different.
Oh, well, through the loss, we find love again. Yes.
Exactly. Soul Love, and also the book, multi-authored book. She invited some of the guests from her podcast. Beautiful book. And here she is today to share her story with my podcast. And she's also has the power of activating the flower of love, and she made a card deck out of it. So a
Yes.
lot of cool things we can unpack today. So I'm excited. She's excited. We're all excited.
Yay.
Minus the cold in the Netherlands, but other than that, no
Yes.
worries. So Kim, welcome to the show, my friend.
Thank you, beautiful friend. Thank you for inviting me, for sharing this sacred conversation, sharing your enthusiasm. And yeah, we have so much in common and so much energy to share. So I'm excited. And I celebrate you for 301 episodes. That's truly amazing, of sharing your stories and also your books, bringing out more wisdom. Because of what I notice in my own journey, like there are beautiful souls that like to listen to podcasts, but there are also beautiful souls that like to read books. And now we can spread our message in multiple
Absolutely.
ways, reaching even more people and inspiring them through our stories and through our.
Absolutely.
So thank you.
Pleasure's all mine. I'm excited to hear your story. So first of all, tell us, how are you doing today?
Good. As I shared, a little bit cold. You are in the in the nice warm weather, and we are here in the Netherlands. We have a very cold day, but I'm doing good. I'm riding the waves of everything that comes with empowering love, and yeah, holding space,
Beautiful.
leading with the heart, just as your podcast shares.
Beautiful.
So,
Thank you. Mind you, speaking of the weather, it's getting kind of chilly here. We're
no.
getting toward the end of the rainy season. So half the week is raining nonstop, cats and dogs. I can imagine standing on the
Yes.
in the shower, but all day long. Half the week is that way, and the other half of the week is beautiful. And but it's getting a little bit cooler. Today is about only 27 degrees, so it's very windy.
Yes.
And but I'll take this over the cold in Canada right now. It's all the shoveling season has started. So
Yeah. Yeah. It's totally different.
oh
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
You're taking in the sun coats for all of us.
Oh, absolutely. As I said, I paid my dues, 20
Yeah.
plus years in Canada in the cold. I've done my fair share of shoveling snow and
Yes.
all that. So I live that
Yeah.
to the next generation now,
I get that. Yes, I get that. But I must say, sometimes seasons also have their magic. That's what I
Absolutely.
notice. When it becomes fall or autumn, and when it becomes winter, it all has its own jam. But
I was having this exact conversation yesterday with a friend of mine was visiting from Kuala Lumpur. He's from Italy, and we're saying I miss sometime the four seasons of Europe, or maybe not in
Yeah.
Canada. We don't have four seasons; we have two seasons there, especially of Europe, because
Mhm.
I like to wear to dress in a warmer, nicer, but you can't do that in the tropics. And Kuala
No,
Lumpur, you cannot pay me enough to wear a suit because I'm sweating like a pig. I can't do it. It's too
I get
humid,
that.
So yeah,
Yes,
I get you. I get you.
yes, yeah. I
Tell
get.
us, for people who don't know you, we're gonna talk about your business, your impact after. But first and
Yes.
foremost, tell us, who's Kim as a person, as a human being, as a woman? Who's Kim?
I'm someone who is always following my heart, even though sometimes it's scary or I need to let go of certain things, or I do something where most people think, what? But yeah, I've always been someone knowing that there's more to life than what we see, and knowing that my soul craves a deeper connection, a deeper fulfillment. And so I'm always on the search. And what I noticed in my own journey is that before I was searching out there, and through all my soul lessons and through all my experiences, I was guided to search within. And then we find beauty and we find strength. And we also discover that within the shadow parts that I pushed away for many times and many lifetimes, there's so much wisdom to rediscover. And there's so much excitement and joy and fulfillment and codes. So I would say I'm just I'm rediscovering who I am, and that goes in a deepening spiral. And then from that space, I am passionate in sharing that with others. And being a leader, or a leader is not really a good word. It's more living by example. That's really one of my. And I'm living in the Netherlands. I'm a mom of 2 beautiful girls. They're now 7 and 8, and I'm married. And
Beautiful.
so I love traveling and going to different places. But what I noticed in myself, I traveled around the world a lot when I was younger, and now it's more traveling to spaces to recollect parts of myself. So it's really this deeper soul yearning, where it's so interesting. In 2010, I went on a world trip, and I also went to Asia and visit beautiful spaces. But back then I was more traveling like a tourist, making the pictures and making the notes. And it's so interesting that on that journey, when I was in Vietnam, I got stung by a dengue mosquito.
No way.
Yes. So I was in the hospital for a week, and then I went to Malaysia for a while. But that really, that was, I think, in the beginning of my world trip, that really made me to stop, to sit with myself, to connect deeper within. So in that moment, it was intense. But through that, the last 6 months of my world trip were so different, because I started to travel with more awareness and with more consciousness. So even then, if I now look back, it was my soul calling me, hello, you can't travel for 8 months like a tourist every day, and you're exhausted. You need, you also need these moments where you just sit on the couch and just enjoy your cup of tea and sit. And it's not it's about the beautiful souls that you get to meet. And so
Beautiful. Wow, beautiful. Where in Vietnam did that happen?
I don't know the name. I started in the upper part of Vietnam, and then I traveled back down, and then I was at this beach town where there was this boat ride where you could go on the boat, and they had like this floating bar. And I think somewhere there my mosquito moisturizer went off, and at first I didn't know, so I got fever, and I thought, what was this? In the Netherlands we don't have dengue mosquitoes. So then at one point I was in the hospital, and they shared that it was that.
Wow. So I'll make sure to avoid any floating bars in the south
Yes,
of Vietnam.
please do so.
No, okay, good.
Yeah.
But one thing that you said that is very beautiful and powerful is that your soul had to tell you, hey, slow down, by making you sick, by talking to you. That's beautiful.
Yes.
Wow.
And my soul has done that many times in
It was
deepening
like
spirals. Yeah.
a slap
Because
on the wrist to wake you up to pay attention. Yes.
it is. Yes. Because I had I think it's 10 years now. Like I've been when I stepped into this earthly journey, when I was born and when I was growing up, I was very enthusiastic, and I felt things that my environment did not feel, or they were so shut down that they couldn't feel it anymore. So I was constantly being mirrored like don't be so much, don't, like, this is not true, or just be like everyone else. So I dimmed my light, and in that I started to copy others. I started to please others, because then I could be part of the group. And I think a lot of people can relate to that. And in that I lost parts of myself. So what I noticed in my own journey, that in deepening spirals, my soul kept calling me. So one was 10 years ago when I got a burnout. I was constantly finding everyone else more important than my job and all the things, like the mindy things that were there. So my soul called me to a halt. And back then, I already cleared some slower vibrations in my field, and I harmonized some parts. But the moment my body was healthy again, I just start repeating the old patterns, because I didn't take out the roots, because okay, now I'm like, it was almost like, okay, I put a Band-Aid on it, and for a time it worked. And the moment the wound was healed, I was ready to go back into the old spirals.
So wait a
because
second.
I didn't.
Wait a second.
Yes.
You went back to another floating bar?
Yes. Yeah, you can say it that way.
At a
Yes,
different location?
unconsciously.
Okay.
Yes, floating in the paradigm of whatever life at that moment wanted of me, instead of making my own decisions, instead of, no, I love this, the floating bar, instead of letting my soul lead, I just let the water of mainstream consciousness take me with it, and finding that more important than finding my own navigation within. So a couple of years later, my daughters were born, and that was really a powerful moment where I felt, okay, I want them to follow their heart. I want them to be their unique expression. So for me, that activated this deeper desire that I lead with example, because children, they are so pure. So I can say to them, yes, follow your heart. But if I do the opposite, they will feel it, and they feel the energy behind my words. So that opens a deepening spiral. And I think in some way that also activated this deeper part in my soul, where 5 years ago I got diagnosed chronic Lyme. And if I look back, there were many, like in the 10 years between my floating bar in Vietnam and my chronic Lyme diagnosis, there were many moments where my body was giving me signals. There were many moments where slowly things were, but nobody could give me the answer. So 5 years. But it was really, at that point, I couldn't do anything anymore. So I could only lay at bed, like it was so everywhere in my body. And it was really, for me, my soul calling me to a halt, because in that moment of stillness, I could only hear my inner voice. I could only hear love. And
so when you were traveling in Vietnam and you got the dengue fever, were you traveling alone, or did you have someone to help you, or
no,
when you were sick?
No, I was traveling alone.
Oh, wow.
So no, and I was in a very little village. while I got the diagnosis, I was in a little village in the mountains, and they gave me all these. Yeah, it was interesting. But like, if I now look back, I would say, okay, what did I do? But it is again like a lot of things when we just go through, like we take our experiences as, okay, this is just. We are so strong, everyone within ourselves, and we just take every experience that comes on our path with love or with resilience, and sometimes we fall, but through that we learn and we grow and we expand and we step into a greater version of ourselves. So sometimes I tell my stories to others and they think, wow, what have you all experienced in your life? But it's my life, and I just go through it, and I know, okay, this is another initiation on my path, and it's another guiding light into a greater version of me. So
absolutely. Wow, beautiful, beautiful. I like how this conversation started. You like traveling, right?
Yes.
A little bit, right? Just a little bit.
Yes. Yeah, yes.
We can do an entire episode on traveling. We might do that in another time. But for now, I want to take you down a different type of traveling, down memory lane. Go back to when you were growing up. You know, when we were kids growing up, people around us, family, friends, relatives, teachers, neighbors, always ask us, hey, Kim, what do you want to become when you grow up? What does you answer to that question as a little girl?
I don't know what I maybe a princess, or no, I don't know back then. No, I do know, but I wanted to become a doctor and an architect. I had those both. I had both too, and I now understand that I combine them. So when I got older, I studied architecture, so I chose the building construction and all of that. That's my education. So but now I understand, through all my experiences, I was activated as a sacred architect. And what I now do is I see the energy systems of people, of souls, and I see where things are out of alignment to bring them back to their soul blueprint. So now I'm combining both. Because in the end, like, for me, the calling of, like that's also when we grow up, we see these, how do you call them? These figures. So this is a doctor in the 3D perspective, and this is an architect. But my soul, like the experiences my soul knows to be a doctor, is someone that helps someone to come back into oneness and in wholeness. But when you choose studies back then, that was not a study choice. It was you would study medicine, and that didn't resonate with my soul. So but it's interesting how these little nudges have been there when we were younger. But how, when you then need to choose a direction, it's not per se as your soul knows them. And I truly believe that through the experiences of your life, and when you embrace every facet of your being with love, you rediscover the true essence of what your soul is here to bring forward, and also how things get activated through your experiences. I don't know what your when you were a little child, what your vision was of.
Oh, wow. Two things. I wanted to be an astronaut and a pilot. And then later on, I want to become a football player. You know, I grew up in the south of France. So in Europe, most boys want to become football players.
Yes.
But as a little boy, astronaut, and then at one time my nickname was pilot.
Okay. Wow. Beautiful. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you're traveling a lot, so that part is still a little bit.
I have a funny story on that. One day, my mother, way back, she brought me to kindergarten on the first day. So she signed me up. Then she went to work. After work, she came to pick me up. She asked for my name. And the other teacher said, the school said, we don't have anyone with that name. So what do you mean? I brought him here today. So no, sir, we don't have that guy. Payment. We don't have that guy. That's impossible. I brought him here. No, we
Yeah.
don't have it. Look. Okay, let me see the list of the student. You look at the list, there was no one. At the bottom, there was one name, Pilot. Say, call me
Yes.
Pilot, please. And she did like this to me. I said, oh.
Yes, I love it. You already brought the manifestation into the next level. Claim it.
Absolutely. Well, maybe
Yeah.
in the next life, because, you know, it didn't happen in this life, but maybe in the next life, who knows? Maybe I was a pilot in a previous life. Who knows?
Yeah, it might be. Yeah. Yes, I love that. Yeah, that's beautiful.
Absolutely. Awesome. So to start off, I'd like to ask you a series of rapid fire questions to further get to know you as a person and as a human being. Ready?
Yes.
Okay. What makes you happy as a person?
Good question. Now, so like expansion, truly connecting, like being in meditation with myself and then feeling these deeper connections. So it's really, and for me at this moment, it's really the inner journey, because the more I embody my essence, and that makes me exciting, because then I discover new things about myself, and through that I can share that with others. So that brings me through joy. Yeah.
Love that. What makes you smile?
Connecting with beautiful souls around the world on a similar level like this, and like these sacred conversations, they just light me up. And
Indeed.
and it's beautiful to see, like also when my girls are now like they're becoming older, so we can have these beautiful conversations, and so interesting to discover the wisdom they hold, and the fun and the joy, and there's so much beauty.
These days kids are a lot smarter than when we were back at our age, you know.
Yes, they are. And especially when we allow them to be who they are, and not dim their light so much.
Yes, that is huge. Yes,
magic comes out. So I'm really blessed with that.
Beautiful. Now let's take the happiness factor a couple of notches higher.
Yes.
What makes your heart sing? What makes your soul set on fire?
My mission, my purpose, what I'm doing every day, that excites me. Yes.
Beautiful. And what is your mission in a one sentence?
To show people the power they have within themselves when you embrace every part of you with love. I think love is an important component. Yes.
Love is the highest frequency in the universe.
It is. Yes.
Love is everything.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Now, on the other side of the spectrum.
Yes.
What makes you sad and angry?
Knowing that there's love, and then seeing still the pain that is in the world. Knowing the power of love, and that we still live in this world of separation and pain and fear, and that we still manifest these things.
Unfortunately, yes. Especially nowadays, even more so, yes.
Yes.
And this is why our work, your work, my work, and other similar people is so important, so we can raise the frequency vibration of the world one person at a time and inspire others to do good. Absolutely.
Yes, yeah.
Now, what scares you?
Sometimes my own power.
Oh.
No, I think what I notice also within my own journey, and also people I guide, sometimes we are even more afraid of our power and really shine our light, and that's leading with the heart, because I'm moving through my slower vibrations, I'm moving through my limitations, but each time it's like, okay, each time I grow, each time I expand and step into my next level, another layer of limitations pop up, because they have prevented me from immediately manifesting them. And then it's just saying yes, and just saying, even though we feel the fear, so anchoring more of my light in that.
Beautiful. Speaking of your power, what would you say is your personal superpower, your number one personal superpower?
I think embodying who I am, and just speaking in that way, from truthful. Like my life is beautiful, but it's also challenging. But I'm owning it, and I'm saying yes to every part of it. And I know this is my unique contribution. And the more I harmonize my field, and the more I face these deeper layers within myself, my shadows and my beauty, the more I can be of service to the collective and beyond. So,
you know, you raised something very beautiful when you were talking. You said, my life is beautiful, but it's challenge. If you had the choice to live a beautiful life with no challenge, would you take it? Or would it be too boring, and you wouldn't be learning anything?
It would be too boring, yes. Even though sometimes I would say a little breezer would be fine, but no, I know this is the journey of growth, of expansion, of
Yes.
like it's again coming back to the truth of who I am, remembering more of my soul, and I just get like these experiences, they are mirrors from within. So I can embrace them with love, and through that I learn more of who I am and remember more of who I am. And no, it's the same with when we grow up as a woman or as a little girl, we get like you go to college and then you get married and get the house and all of that. And I am very grateful for my girls and my husband and all that is, but that alone doesn't fulfill me. That's like my soul craves for something more, craves, and that is also sometimes breaking free from how I need to do as a mom or how I need to be as a parent, as a wife, it's truly allowing my soul to come forward, and in that creating a new template for myself and the people around me. And that is sometimes also scary because it means doing something different than your environment and really following your heart and pioneering. But that's the only way. It's like the moment you connect to your soul and you follow and you feel you are guided on this path, there's no turning back. It's only moving forward and just, allowing your light to guide you. So
Totally beautiful. Now, let's go back to when you were growing up.
yes.
What was your relationship with school? Did you love school or did you hate school growing up?
No, I didn't really like it because I was because I wanted to keep the peace. So in that, I was constantly just like being the good girl and not wanting to create friction. I just wanted to create harmony. And in that, I just lost myself. And a couple of things, like my father died when I was very, very young. So that changed me. I grew up very quickly when I was a little girl. So also in that, I missed the connection with children in my class because they were still children. And they were like, and I was busy with other things. I was suddenly more grown up, and I was suddenly knowing that there's a fear of losing people, the foundation underneath you that can be taken away. So for me, that was a huge, also at school, where I saw I was different, and I saw that I had different things I wanted to do or wanted to talk about. And in that, it was also very alone because the children around me wanted different things. And that was just, So.
Absolutely. So many things come to mind when you're listening to you, but I could ask so many questions, but we can go on for hours.
Yes.
Now, when you were in school, what was your favorite subject and what was your least favorite subject?
Oh, I liked all the how do you say? I'm really like more a technician or an engineer. I really liked like chemistry and
Sciences.
Sciences, all the science things, but also like math. I was really good in the math and not so good in languages. So, but I'm speaking English and it all goes fine, and I channel the book, but that was really not my like France. We got France on that was really not my zone of genius. So yes, we got
Speak
German
French?
and French. Yes, French. Yes, we got French at school, but that was really, I was always happy when I would have a 6 and I would go forward in the class. So yeah.
Do you still speak it?
No, not at all. No, we went to France this summer, but no, that's really going with my hands and my feet to explain. Yes.
Which part of France?
Sorry?
Which part of France?
Oh, we traveled more the Alps. So we went from above the Alps and then down. So to Crest, and beautiful. We saw mountains and rivers.
So on the east side, on the southeast.
Yes. Yeah, we started up like above Geneva and then traveled
okay.
down.
Les Alpes. Okay. I grew up in the southwest, close to the Spanish border in the French Basque Country.
Yes.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Close to Bordeaux and Lourdes and all that. Biarritz,
Yes.
Bayonne, Anglet.
Oh, yes. Yes.
That was my backyard. Yes. Oh,
But it's
beautiful.
also close to the Qatar area where the Essenes have lived.
Which area?
More with Spain, the mountain there.
Les Pyrénées.
Yes. So that's beautiful. Yes.
Yeah, the French Basque Country. Yes, beautiful. Yeah, absolutely. Wow. Now, imagine that we're in the same class in grade 10, sorry. What kind of student, what kind of girl were you? Were you the shy one, the quiet one, the nerdy one? Were you the chatterbox, the life of the school, the cheerleader, the superstar of the class? What kind of student, what kind of girl were you back at, say, grade 10?
I was very confident in my being. The whole class liked me, but I was not really friends with everyone. But everyone would just, and I was very, very, yeah, I was smart. So I always had my homework already done in the class and I was just ready. And then, but I also was very fun. Yeah, again, I wasn't labeled in a box. So I could fit in many boxes a little bit and not, so there was, I think, already my soul expansion calling me not to be, I don't like these limited boxes, or I don't like these labels. And that's also what I'm now as a mom and as a wife and as a parent and an entrepreneur and all of that. And as that I'm trying to break free from, or not wanting to be put into that. So yeah, I think also at school, like everyone, I didn't have problems with anyone. I just could, but yeah, but I found my own way in that already. I found my authenticity and I stayed true to that. And yeah.
Beautiful. Were you into sports in school?
No, not really. No, yoga. I did yoga already. I love that. But no, I was not really a sporty. No,
So
not
when you were,
like you. No.
thank you. When you were in school, were you popular with the boys?
No, not really. No. And I
Or
also
you were
had
shy?
a boyfriend very young, so that was also
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Awesome. What was your very first job? And do you remember how much you get paid for that first job that you did?
Oh, my first job it was really like at the register, like the groceries. I don't know the English word.
Cashier.
Yeah,
Cashier, yes.
yes, I was that. That was my very first job. And I don't know what I get paid. I think 5 or 6 euros. Oh no, it was even in guldens, I think, in the old
Yeah, before
time.
you, okay, yeah, okay.
Yes. Oh, that's a
Wow.
long time ago. Yeah. But it was
Yeah.
beautiful because again, I loved connecting with people. There was I was very quick in what I did and I had beautiful short conversations with people and that just lit me up. So
The
yeah.
numbers, you were good like this, like, okay,
Yes. Yeah.
5.25, 6 foot. What's a
Yes.
change?
Yeah.
They give you
No.
20, it's 14. Okay, here's your money,
Yes,
whatever.
yeah,
Okay.
I know people really going into my lane because they knew I worked quick and they had a
Yes,
beautiful.
yeah.
I think even back then it was also an energy exchange that happened because I already embodied certain codes and people would really feel that when they like just the smile. And that's with everyone. If you just give people your smile and just your energy, there's already so much happening and so much. Yeah, it can be in the simplicity of life.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now let's talk about let's move forward. Let's talk about your path. How would you
Yes.
describe your path from the moment you left school to now? Would you say it was pretty much straightforward, smooth sailing? Once you get into one lane, you were set for life? Or was it more like turns and twists, like a roller coaster?
No, many turns and twists. And I also see how all the different experiences have learned me in things that support me now. So it's really sometimes when, like for me, if you would see my work life, it are many different experiences and you could say why and what is the red line, but now I understand. So I came out of building construction and then I worked for builder construction for a while. That was a beautiful job and I got to organize a lot of events and beautiful things and meet beautiful people. And what I loved was drawing coming to life through the architectural drawing and then really becoming a house or a building and guiding people in that. But it was interesting even back then. That was my road trip 2010. I was hiking. I was hiking, jogging in the forest, but it was snowing. And at one point I slipped, but it was really at the strange point and I broke my upper arm and I was back home for 3 months because it was really this place where your knuckle becomes so I couldn't do anything. And in that point, I decided, no, I need to quit my job because my soul wants something different. I need to explore the world. I always wanted to do a world trip, but I never did because I thought, okay, you go to study and then like life just takes you over. So that 2010 moment where I broke my arm, again, it was my soul calling me, okay, now it's time, Kim. So I quit my job and I started traveling the world. And then I came back in 2011 and then the whole building construction industry just had this breakdown in the Netherlands. So there were no jobs anymore. So I then did a couple of different jobs that were all different things until I got my girls, I think, yeah, until they got born. So yeah, they had different experience of leading a group of people that would sell kitchens or leading events for a while and all of that. But through each of them, I learned new skills and I learned more about myself. But I think also through experience, what I didn't like, sometimes we also get to know ourselves more, because it's not only in the experience of what we like, it's also in, okay, I really do not like this, but then you can also feel like if this is what if this is not what you like, you can also easily find what it is you do like then. So for me, yeah, they all guided me, and I met beautiful people, and it's riding the wave with love and just saying yes to new experiences that light you up. Yeah,
absolutely. How did you meet your husband?
Oh, that was interesting. Like I rented my first apartment, and he lived above me. And my grandmother sent.
Let me guess. He knocked on the door asking you for salt.
No, he. It was so interesting. My grandmother sent me flowers for my house, but I wasn't home, so he collected them. So he came down.
And he claimed it was his? He claimed it was his?
Yeah, no. He said it was from my grandmother, but he knocked on the door, and it was love at first sight. And even in that, it is interesting to tell. Like, I found that apartment, I walked by it many times, and I really loved it. But they asked they asked a lot of money for it. So at one point I saw it was free for rent, but I didn't have the money to rent that. So I just followed my heart, and I sent the guy an email like, okay, I see it's for rent. I have this amount to spend each month. If you want that, I can hire it. And it's a place in the most beautiful place in Breda. Everyone wants that. So, but he said yes. And that's why I could live there. But still, again, it's my soul guiding me to go
ask
live there.
and shall receive, you know?
It is, yes. And in that, I met my husband. And yeah, for both of us, it was love at first sight. And yeah.
So you got two things, 2 for 1. You got an apartment, you get a husband.
Yes.
What a deal. Buy one, get two for free.
Yes, it was really
got 1 fee, not 2 free. No.
Yes. No. But it was a beautiful experience. Yeah, 2007 already. It's a long time. Yeah.
So when did you know that it was the one? It was different.
Oh, it was just this, like, we just were love at first sight, both of us, and it doesn't mean our relationship is always easy, because we're both passionate about our journey and our soul expansion. And like, we notice that each time we grow and expand, we need to, like, each time I grow or he grows, the other one needs to level up. Otherwise we grow out of each other. And that's each time a conscious choice. So there have been many moments where we thought, okay, is this truly what I want? You have been changing so much, or I have been changing so much. And then we needed to make a choice, like, do we want to stay together? Then we need to elevate with, or our worlds. And also when I got sick, for him, that was really a tough time of having a wife who's always sleeping and not having energy, and like, taking care of the family and feeling that pressure. But in that, like, we grow and we expand. And it's the same with last year. I went to Egypt, and I went to Glastonbury. So when you travel to those powerful places, it just transforms you. But I'm going through the transformation by being on that portal, but he was back home with the girls. And then each time he said, okay, yes, you're going on this amazing experience, but I don't know how you are when you're getting back, because then we need to rediscover each other again, because you transform, you change. And then we need to see, like, okay, who are you, and how, what is this new perspective you are experiencing? And so we each time choose to grow together. And that's like in any relationship, that goes with beautiful things, and sometimes also the stumbling against each other. But through that, we grow, and we And the beautiful thing, I think a powerful thing is we've learned that in the end, the essence is within ourselves. So we mirror each other. And if we take responsibility for what is being triggered within us, then we can grow together. And then like, it's not him doing something against me or me doing against him. It's just, taking ownership.
Beautiful. I love what you said, that you need in a relationship, you need to, when you grow, the other person has to follow. Otherwise, you're going to grow out of each other. That's very powerful, very true. Yeah. So when you were going in the early stages of dating with them, what is the one thing about him that made you fall in love with him and made you realize this guy is different?
Yeah, it's something beyond words, because it's just a soulful connection, and we can have beautiful conversations, and he also likes traveling, and we can experience beautiful things. But it's just such a deep, soulful connection, and it's just it is what happened in that instant moment, that falling in love immediately and knowing, like, and that has always been there. but it goes beyond words. It's just knowing in every cell of our body and every part of our being, we are here to be on this journey, and each time consciously choosing, because I think that's an important thing as well in a relationship, is that you have the freedom of choice. And from the freedom of choice, I each time choose to stand beside him instead of feeling obligated because we're married or we're having children. No, I choose each time, still, every day. And I think that's important, because then we're in an equal relationship, and there is like a balance instead of, yeah. So I think that's an important.
Beautiful, beautiful. Now, let's move forward. You know, there's a saying that says, change your story, change your life. And by story, I mean when we tell in our head all day long. So when you came, you were at some of your darkest, lowest, most challenging times of your life. How did you change the story inside of your head? How did you change what you were telling yourself internally to change reality externally?
Yeah, through the power of love. It's really like also in my like 5 years ago with the chronic Lyme, it was really in that moment, like a lot of limiting patterns get activated. A lot of, okay, I'm not good enough, I can't do this, but also like patterns of past lifetimes, I don't deserve this, or being afraid of shining your light and being afraid of being persecuted, or all these energies we carry with us from family lineages and all of that. And it's through the power of love, really feeling the power of love within myself and the connection and the support of the universe around us, and choosing that I'm worthy of receiving that love, that allowed me to see things from different perspectives. Because when you look through the lens of love, like the limiting patterns, the negative self-talk totally looks different, because then you suddenly see a wounded part of yourself that just wants to be acknowledged, that wants to be loved, that wants to be seen, that wants to be held. And then it slowly dissolves. When you look through the lens of love, suddenly all these limiting patterns, suddenly, like most of them, they already dissolve in the acknowledgement. And some need expression, but also allowing that. Like when I was growing up, it was always, don't be too much. So don't be too much in being too enthusiastic, but also in crying, in expressing. And we have suppressed so much of those energies in our body, in our field, in our awareness. And now it's allowing them to come out. So for me, it was really also learning to just cry. And if I wanted to yell in my own safe space, to do that. And if I wanted to be angry, to also be that. And through that, the energy starts to move again, instead of creating illnesses in my body, instead of creating blockages. And I think that's such an empowering knowing that when you can look through the lens of love, you see a totally different aspect of that limiting belief, or that what it is. But it's each day a conscious choice, because it's each day, like each time that's in my journey now, and you will notice it as well. Like when we say yes to a new experience because we know our soul is excited, we are also being invited to grow into that version of ourselves. And that means that a limiting pattern might come up, or as I always share, a root in our inner garden of a weed of anything. And then it's acknowledging, okay, it is because I'm choosing to grow, this limiting belief comes up. It's not a step back, it's a step forward. And now it's seeing, okay, what does it want to share with me? Instead of fighting it against, or instead of pushing it away as this is not mine, to just sit with it and see, like, okay, what does it want to share? And what is the truth of me? And then you will notice your truth is love. Your truth is just a beautiful excitement that is within you, and it's allowing that to lead instead of, but that's a daily practice. The moment it comes up, it's you like redefining, you saying, okay, I'm love, and this is my truth, and this is my, yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. You mentioned that you were you had a chronic disease, and then you overcame that. Tell us about that part of your life.
It was really a very dark night of the soul. And through that, because I had these symptoms for many years, I think almost 10 years, and a lot of friendships already fell away because I was always too tired to come, and there was no explanation. So people at one point saw that as personal rejections, so it was really at one point a very lonely journey. And then you have all these physical symptoms that allow you to not being able to do things anymore. And it was really in that moment, again, the power of love coming through, a deep remembering of my soul, of my light, even though how very small, but that created for me this powerful lighthouse that allowed me to lead me through the dark moment. So it is really like when you have this strong anchor of like, okay, this is what I want. And also for my girls, I want to see them grow up. I want to experience, I want to do everything with them. And then you have this deep desire that is deeply rooted, and that can support you. It's like having this vision. So it gave me, like in that moment, it gave me this vision, and everything that would come on my path, I would just embrace it with love. I would just, with this fierce warrior within myself, I would just say, yes, show me. And through that, it supported me to come into this place where I am now, where I just healed my body very quickly beyond what the doctors thought was possible. But it was doing the inner work. It was totally changing my diet, changing my mindset, witnessing my shadows, my beauty, my wounded parts, embracing all that I am, doing the energy work, doing the healing work, and becoming truthful about me and taking responsibility for the calling of my soul. Because in the end, my body was giving me signals for many years, but I wasn't ready to listen, or I wasn't ready to bring out the changes, or I wasn't ready to witness these deeper parts within myself. I wasn't ready to allow the emotions to be expressed. And in that moment, it was really, you have a choice to go down the spiral of the chronic illness or to rise up. And I chose rising up. And that's really, but then it's in each time, like, it's a daily choice. Do I choose growth and expansion, and do I, or a daily
Beautiful.
commitment to you. Yeah.
Beautiful. You mentioned you changed your diet. What was your diet prior, and what changes did you make?
I already eat like less gluten and all of that. But at that point, I think everyone is listening to its own body. For me, it was really vegan. So we changed everything and we went vegan, gluten-free, and a lot of vegetables and fresh water and all of that. And that changed. Because what I noticed in my journey is like my body wanted more pure energy. And through when you eat meat, it takes a lot of energy to process. And now I can handle it again. But when your body is dealing with chronic illness and with viruses and all of that, it needs all its energy to rebuild, to regenerate. And it's being mindful of what you put in it. So no sugar, no. But for 4 years, I did that dedicated every day. Vegan, gluten-free every day. And at one point you notice you're so strong in energy, because I believe in the end everything is energy, that you can handle eating gluten at one point again, or sugar, or so now I'm playing with it. But still, I feel like also my connection to source and Mother Earth is more strong when I really honor my vessel, and when I eat pure, and when I
totally.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
But again, it's not about judgment, it's about knowing that we have a choice. So sometimes I just enjoy a party now, and I eat what I want. And then I also know, like in moments where I really want to be in this connection and want to be, then I just like it's being in this sacred temple space of our body, and it's knowing, it is again, I think knowing this vessel we have and remembering this powerful tool and how to use it with conscious choice in each and every moment. Yeah.
Beautiful. Well said. Well said. Amazing. Amazing. Now, you mentioned that you channeled the book in 20 hours. How did you do that?
Yeah, that was again a soul calling. I always wanted to write a book, but I never had an idea about what, or it was just a calling within myself, just like you with your beautiful book, Leaders of a Heart. So at one point I made a commitment to myself, and I said, I'm going to sit for 2 weeks. Each morning, 2 hours, I'm going to sit, and I'm just going to allow the energy to flow through me. And that's what I did. And in that, in 20 hours, the whole book came through. But I need to make a note to it, because the whole book came through, but it didn't came in like chapter 1, 2, 3. It came in like chapter 18 and then 7. And then, so it took again a whole year of editing to bring it in the right alignment and all of that. Because I think the first original channeling were more than 140,000 words. And it needed to be brought back to 75,000 words. So now this is the end result. So otherwise it would have been a very thick book.
Show it again. Show the cover again.
Yes.
What is this? Activating the flower of love. What is it about? Summarize it for us in a few sentences, please.
In the essence, it's about you coming back to the essence of you. So it shares like our world is, you have this inner garden, and that's like the reflection of our world around us. And there are things within the soils of our inner garden, and there are things in the outer world that we can see. But what is growing in this inner garden soil, It can be weeds and it can be beauty, but the journey, no, I need to say it differently. The journey really guides you back to the essence of who you are. So when you came here to the Earth Star, you brought your soul blueprint with you. And through life, we really have all these layers that we place on top of it, layers of limitation, of our collective, of family lineages, all of that. And this journey really helps you through the Flower of Love codes to come back to this essential blueprint that you are. And then from that, live your life to feel confident, to feel, yeah. But it's really, it shares the beautiful way of your inner garden. So within your inner garden, you have things that fuel your light, but you also have things that dim your light. And it's time to take those out. And it can be emotions, and it's becoming, again, mindful of your thoughts, like you shared before. Because with our thoughts, we're planting seeds. And some seeds, when you have the thought rapidly, it becomes this powerful weed in your garden that is limiting your growth, that is limiting the life you truly want to live. And it's becoming mindful about that and aware. There are beautiful tools, because it's all about you remembering who you are, you empowering yourself from within, until you remember and you have your gifts and your talents activated. I'm all about reminding people of the power they have within themselves, reminding souls of the love, of the gifts and the talents, because it's not about someone else telling you what you do. No, it's you feeling within yourself what is your truth. Because also in this time and space, there are so many different things around us, so many different opinions, so many streams of consciousness we can follow, also a lot of chaos. And then it's you coming back to your truth, to the knowing of your body, of your soul, to guide you forward, and instead of relying on someone else or an outside source. So it really helps you to come back to love. And the book is like, it's a multidimensional transmission. So as you read through it, it interacts with your soul and with your higher self as well. So with the power of your voice, you activate certain templates within you. And in that, it helps you to purify your field, because it shares, like, you have this beautiful ball of energy. And as you go through life, there are beautiful energies that empower you and that support your journey, but there are also limiting beliefs, and both send out energies out into the world. If you look at the law of attraction, that will attract certain things. And if you're constantly doing from the mind the good things, but you're not manifesting the life of your dreams, it means in your subconscious layers, in your inner garden, there are weeds that are preventing that. And it is you harmonizing those layers and coming back to a cohesiveness in yourself. So yeah, this is in a nutshell a whole journey of beautiful empowerment. So yeah.
Beautiful. Love that. Wow, that's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. Now, you mentioned that you channeled the book. You told us about your book. Show us once again the cover of your book, and where can people find your book?
You can find it on Amazon, but also all the other online and offline bookstores. So if you type in the name or my name, you can find it. So, and otherwise they can order it. So yeah. Beautiful. But it's really beautiful. Like for me, again, it was leading with my heart and just following the call. And just like you, with your books and your, like we've shared in a previous conversation, the power of our sacred yes. And sometimes when we say yes, even though we feel scared, because through me channeling this book, like there's a whole journey that happens of like, there's one thing to channel it, but there's another thing to then bring it out into the world. And then you get all these limiting beliefs like, okay, who am I to share this? And what will people think of it, and all of that. And it's like, I think you understand, it's healing those layers, but it is through me and through you saying yes to our expansion that we get to, that these layers get up. So if you would go back to your inner garden, it's through me saying yes that these weeds show up and I have the chance to harmonize them. And it's just leaping. Like it's again with my podcast. A year ago I started my podcast, and now a year later there's a beautiful book, a co-author book around my, and that's the same with you, like the beautiful souls. By you saying yes, you get to meet, and yeah, there's so much power in that.
Beautiful. Speaking of a podcast, let's talk about your podcast. What made you start a podcast in the first place?
Again, an inner guidance. I didn't know, like it's just following this inner guidance. And for me, there was this calling. I went to Glastonbury, and in that I just got the inspiration, and I just said, yeah, I didn't know anything about how to make videos or how to make, I just leaped, and through that we learn and we grow, and it doesn't need to be perfect. It's through saying yes, the experience unfolds. And yeah.
Absolutely. How many episodes have you done so far?
I think I'm now at 41. Beautiful. So not 301 yet, but we're coming there.
It's not a numbers game. It's a connection. It's a purpose. So
Yes, it is.
keep doing it. Podcasting has been for me the single greatest thing I've done in a long
Yeah.
time, probably top 3, top 5 in my life. Most influential, transformational decision. It completely opened up the world for me.
Yeah.
Connections, friendships, anything. I used to be extremely shy,
Yeah.
self-conscious, have a big nose, no hair, so camera shy. But now,
You're
I
doing it.
realize it's not about
Yeah.
me or you. It's about the message, the gift, the
Yeah, it
wisdom,
is.
our voice that we need to share.
Yes. Yeah.
So,
Yes.
yeah,
And that's
beautiful.
an important key, because then it's stepping by the limitations of
Mhm.
the mind, and it's following this calling within our heart, even though we find it scary, even though we need, like as you shared, you being shy, and then stepping up in this space and just sharing and becoming confident in it, and
Oh,
already
yeah.
now I think 301 episodes. And what I love about the podcast, like there's one thing of sharing and bringing our message forward and empowering people through sharing our authenticity. But I also love the conversations prior and after, because there is also magic. So it's really a gift in so many ways. And yeah, so it's beautiful.
It's beautiful. It makes you get to know the people.
It
Because
is.
at the
Yeah.
end of the day, what is business? It's not a numbers game. Sure, numbers matter, but ultimately, it's a relationship nurturing process.
It
Me, you,
is.
and everybody, we do business with people we connect, relate, and trust. Let's say you, for example, Kim, you're looking for a baker, an accountant, a mechanic. Sure, they all qualify, they all have all the degrees and all that, but the one you will do business with is the one you connect the most as a person. If you don't connect as a person, you don't care who they are, you don't care how many PhDs they might have. It's irrelevant. It's how you
Yeah.
connect, human to human, heart to heart. If you connect on that level,
Yeah.
it's a natural, automatic, organic progression. That's what I've
Yeah.
noticed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah. And that's I think also where the future will bring us. Like before, also in marketing and all of that, it was more about triggering people on the mind or 3D things they really want. But now everyone is searching for this deeper connection, is searching to remember their soul,
Heart.
understands, yeah, it's the heart, and following our sacred yeses, even though we find it scary, because we don't want to keep repeating the cycles of the old. We're ready for new, and we know that change starts within ourselves. So yeah, I think it's a beautiful example of where we are all going and being guided to. Yeah. Oh, I can't hear you now.
Wow, beautiful. There's one thing that I noticed you saying a few times, and that's absolutely beautiful. So beautiful, I actually took a note, wrote it down. It's called Following of Sacred Yeses. I'm gonna remember that, and I'm gonna probably make a video on that, because that's really, really powerful. This is what really changed my life when I started to say yes and stop playing small, started with all the mental blocks and all these imposter syndrome and all that. Who am I? Who's gonna listen to me? I'm a nobody. I'm not a celebrity. I'm not an expert. I'm a PhD. I have a big nose. I don't care, whatever. And all excuses we keep on telling ourselves,
Yes.
not about that. It's about you, your gift, your messages, your voice, your wisdom, especially your gift.
Yeah.
And
And understanding that we're here to anchor something unique. There's something you only can bring forward, and it's you fully accepting who you are and embodying that in every facet of your being. That's how we become the contribution, not by our degrees, not by how we look, not by, it's you embodying the essence of your soul and following your sacred yes, because that is so, our sacred yes is the initial thing we feel when we get an invitation or when we get an inspiration. Truly the essential part, because sometimes even seconds after, our mind kicks in and then we get all these limitations and, oh no, I'm not doing that. But it's the initial energy. If you then feel expansion and excitement, follow it. If you then feel contraction, no, don't do it. But it's this essential spark that really guides us to beautiful places. And yeah, because also through my podcast, again, I get to meet you and all of that. But it's following that an initial spark, and then the path unfolds by us saying yes to that spark, and through that, yeah. But that again asks braveness and the power of love. Yes.
then to your podcast, you get something else. You get a book.
Yes. Yeah, that as well. Yes, yeah, and you're bringing out your second co-author book, so that's really amazing. Yes.
Thank you. This is my 4th experience, 2 as a contributor, and 2 as a if you can call it that way, my book. I'm the publisher, even though I'm not doing any of the publishing. Mary's doing it, but
yes. Yes. I love that.
It is beautiful. It opens up the world for us, for me, for all of us involved. So yeah,
Yeah.
podcasting is very underrated For me, it's been a complete game changer, completely
Yeah.
changed my life in every aspect. So I don't understand why people are not leveraging that.
No,
So
I get. And it's also understanding, like also for me, like the more I know, the less I know. And we keep being students of life. And through podcasting, we constantly learn new things,
and
experience new things. And the world opens up from our screen and we get to experience through the conversation and deepen. So it's such a gift on so many levels. So yeah.
absolutely, just to piggyback on that, for me, podcasting has been an instrumental part of not only my own spiritual awakening, but also has been part of my education, talking with amazing experts from around the world, all kinds, learning about things I thought I knew, but most importantly, learning about things I had no idea even existed.
Yes.
It was
Yeah.
like, wow, that exists. What's that?
Yeah, I love that. Yeah. And again, as I then see your sharing, it's like you stepping again back into the wonder of life. There's so much beauty around us. And so it's becoming this child again that is just open to receive new knowledge, or in the end, it's a deeper remembering. But yeah, just saying yes to all of that with an open mind, an open heart, and allowing it to transform us in the way that's aligned. So
In a way, it has rekindled the fire in our inner
yes.
child. Because that inner child that's the
Yes.
essence of life in all of us. Even when you're 95,000 years old,
Yeah, no.
your child is basically the essence of life. The
Yes,
moment
it
you
is.
suppress that,
Yeah.
you might as well just lay down and go 6 feet under and never come back.
Yeah. No, no. Yes, it is. And that's
Oh,
such a yes, yes. Thank
beautiful,
you.
beautiful. Thank you. Now, you also created a card deck.
Yes,
Tell
that
us
that
more.
came in as inspiration, and I created it in a whole weekend. So that's again when you are tapped into this inspiration. So the flower of love as well. It is activating the divine feminine within ourselves. And the divine feminine, we have it all, whether we're a man or a woman, we have a divine feminine side and a divine masculine. And when we tap into this divine feminine inspiration and we allow it to come forward, allowing our divine masculine to rise, to bring it into form, we can create like a card deck in a weekend. So it's inspired on the teachings of my book. Again, it was this download that came in. And in our 43 cards, I will show you a couple. And each card has like a sacred geometry code on the front, and then on the text, an inspiring
Show again
text.
sacred geometry, please. Oh,
So
wow.
this is one, but each card has its unique
Did you
code.
create,
And you,
did you create
yes,
this
in
everything
one weekend, both. Yes.
in the back? Wow. How do you get
Yes.
inspiration? Is it something you already knew, or just something you saw in your mind's eye, or something just got channeled?
That's again, it just comes through. Then it's just a
Wow.
channel. But also, I'm very, and I think that's again all my experiences in my life, my business experience, but also when I was growing up and like my different work job opportunities. They all like when I was studying, I needed to draw buildings and building constructions and all of that. I needed to work with 3D programs to show how the architecture would look like and all of that. And that made me now being able to create images and content very quickly because I needed to do it back then. So sometimes it's embracing again the guidance our life brings us, not per se knowing where it will lead, but understanding that they are puzzle pieces. For me, I will draw one card for now. But for me, it are all puzzle pieces. And when we can, again, with wonder and with our sacred yes, can just say yes, it's because we, from our limited self, can think, no, my life needs to look like this. And in 10 years, I need to be there. But maybe your soul has such a more amazing plan for you, and then you can hold on and control. No, it needs to look like that. But by that, you're limiting yourself. So say yes to your experiences, say yes to what comes on your path, and not knowing where it will lead to. So, okay.
Beautiful.
The card for now. Oh, it's one. Well, this is beautiful. Own your uniqueness. Can I share?
Please.
Okay. Just like a flower, you are meant to blossom into your full potential. You hold all the potential within you to grow and expand. Radiate your unique beauty and share your legacy with the world. As you journey towards your fullest expression, remember to stay focused on your purpose. Don't let outer circumstances distract you from your path. Embrace your divine wholeness and let it guide you towards new beginnings and self-confidence. You are a pure source of divine energy, and your uniqueness is a gift to the world. Own it, celebrate it, and never apologize for being you. Spread your seeds of beauty and watch them bloom into something truly magical. Own your uniqueness and blossom into your full potential. So that's the card for today.
Amen. Amen.
Amen. Yes.
As I say, I'm open and ready to receive graciously,
Yeah.
gracefully, and gratefully
Yes.
these and any blessing the universe has for me. Amen.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Thank you. Amen.
Love
Yeah.
that. Now, you mentioned that you have the gift of channeling. Can you also channel answers to dilemmas or questions that you're wondering? For example, let's say you're in a crossroad making a decision and you just get inside of yourself. I don't know if you're through meditation or just sleeping or closing your mind, and you just information, just the answer. So not the answer. The
Mhm.
vision comes for you to know what to do.
Yeah, but it comes like we sometimes have a certain vision of channeling. So sometimes it comes in very clear words, like my book. It just flew through me, but there was a line then because, like, for say a month later, I also tried it. But if it's not aligned, nothing comes. So in that moment, that book was meant to come out, and then it's me embodying the teachings. And in my channeling, sometimes it comes in body wisdom. Sometimes it comes in just tingling in my body and knowing this is my path. Sometimes it's an inspiration, sometimes it's a word through what someone else shares and you just feel it to be true. And sometimes it are clear visions. I also work within the Akashic records, but then like sometimes people have like they have a certain question when people come to me, but the answer is not always what they're searching for. The answer is the expansion of their soul. The answer is moving beyond the blockage so that they can see the truth of who they are. And most of the time, it is beyond the question they are asking, because the question is created through the limited mind, and the answers is in the infinite field of all. So for me, it is using the different tools and understanding the subtle energies again of my body, of my emotions, of how my soul speaks to me, and learning that. But that's a journey of trusting. And that unfolds in deepening spirals, because sometimes we receive the inspiration or the guidance and then we say, no, I'm not doing this, or this is not what I want. And then it's saying, okay, but this is what came true. And can you follow that? And can you honor that instead of wanting it to be different? So it's a deepening spiral. And but yes, I use that in my own way for guidance, for clarity, for my next steps. But yeah.
Beautiful. So when information comes to you and it's channeled through you,
Yes.
what do you do to not forget it? Like, let's say all this information just comes all at once. What do you do? Do you just stop anything you're doing and just type, or just
Yes.
speak what you and record what you just get? What do you do to ensure
Yes,
you don't?
record it, type it, and just with this, I had something else planned that weekend, but it came through so clearly. So then I'm passionate about what I'm doing. So then I'm just clearing my schedule, and I feel, yes, I follow the calling of my soul, and I'm being of service to this greater good, because I know this is my unique contribution, and it's honoring that. So each time you receive inspiration, go with the initial spark, because then you have the momentum with you, instead of saying, okay, no, this is not convenient at this time, or I want to do something else, and then it fades away. But also you will notice when you then afterwards want to work with the inspiration, it is more chewy, and it's more because you've lost the energy momentum, you lost the wave, and you've lost. So it's riding the waves as much as I can, also when it's inconvenient. And yeah.
Beautiful. Can you channel things for other people?
Yeah, I do through the Akashic records and through the, yeah, but it's not, again, I once had a reading where someone had certain questions, and the whole session, it was quiet. And my mind was saying, okay, why is it quiet, and what is happening, and why am I not receiving clear messages? But then at the end, for her, what was most needed was stillness, so she could hear her own voice and someone holding space. Sometimes clear messages come, dates, times, and all of that, but most of the time, it's not in that where the change happens. So it's like what I noticed in my whole journey the last couple of 5 years as well. And it's allowing what really wants to come through without my mind trying to interfere, or without my mind judging what comes through. I once had a beautiful session where bunnies came, and I thought, I'm not going to say bunnies in the middle of this session, but in the end, that was what she needed, because she needed to connect to nature. And for her, the bunnies were the only element of nature in her physical surroundings. So then I can say from my mind, I'm not saying bunnies, but yeah, so it's trusting. Beautiful things come true.
Bunnies as in Bugs Bunny?
Yeah, no, no, I saw this. No, not Bugs Bunny. That would be funny. Yeah, no, but it comes in beautiful ways. But in the end, we can all do that. We can all channel. We can all, but it's becoming still to hear the messages.
I don't know if that's possible. I don't know if I could ask you as a favor. Could you channel the winning numbers of the lottery for us and we can split the profit? At least once a year.
Yes, that would be amazing. And that's again, it's not coming in like I wanted to come out this way. And it's really about, well, what I do also in my sessions, it's being present in this field of love, holding space for the most aligned energy to come through to help the collective, to help the beautiful soul that is sitting there in their next level evolution and whatever is needed in that. And it's really being open to what the field wants to reveal. It's being open to what is in the most highest alignment. And that's again with also generating abundance. Sometimes we can feel like, okay, I want to have $1 million on my bank account. But sometimes our soul needs to go through certain experiences of lack to remember that's not our truth and to heal these wounded parts within myself. So also in my own journey, it's like these ebbs and flows. And it's understanding and embracing again with love the moments where it's challenging. And then we know we can elevate into a next level. And that's the same with channeling, like really allowing the whatever is most aligned to come through instead of like it needs to come in a certain form or in a certain way, or it needs to look like this. Or
so you mentioned that anyone can access the Akashic record, at least their own. Do you have any tips if someone was interested but doesn't know where to start to do that?
I think it's very important to find a beautiful invocation. You can find many online, or if you go search on YouTube, guidance as well, to find a beautiful invocation to set your field, because that's important. When you go work in your records, it's you setting a clear field of higher vibrational love code so that only the highest vibrational love guidance will come through. And then it's you connecting, but also the activating the flower of love. In a way, your inner garden are your Akashic records. So it's a soft way of you learning what is in your inner garden, learning what is in your soils, what is influencing your reality and in your life. But again, it's empowering from within, because it's you interacting with the field. It's you interacting with your memories, with your subconscious layers, it's taking, again, also ownership of who you are and what you're vibrating out. And
Beautiful, beautiful. Now, tell us about your business.
Yes, that is again following my heart. So a couple of years back, in my healing journey, my light language got activated, and that's again, it started with experiencing, so with friends, seeing whatever wants to come through, and in that I noticed that when I was speaking my light language, and for me it comes in mostly through beautiful singing sounds, it opened blocks. So where people would have certain blocks in their field that would prevent them to elevating to their next level, through light language, it's communicating with your soul, with your essence, it's bypassing the mind, it opens and people soften and suddenly they can go through. And so it creates openings. And for me, that unfolded like in the essence, the playfulness of experimenting through, I saw the potency of that. And in that, I was guided to create my business. But it's really my mission. And what I noticed for me, it's really about me embodying my truth and who I am. And in that, I attract beautiful souls where I get to co-create with, but leading by example. And knowing like it's for me, well, what is very important is, especially in this time, like as you elevate, as you raise your vibration, as you become more of who you are, it doesn't mean your life will always be easy, but it means you are empowered from within with resilient love to navigate whatever comes on your path. And so for me, my mission is really leading by example and showing people what is possible and helping them to remember and holding space for them to navigate past their limitings, because we all have these blockages in our field or these blind spots, and it's time. And it's beautiful to see as people remember and connect and activate their gifts and talents, what they then can create. And it's really from this space of equality we can then share again in the world. And but it's each time it's not that I started my business with a clear vision, it needs to be like this and it needs to look, no, I just each time leap, and some things work and some things do not. And then my book came in, and from my book because when I channeled my book, I thought it was just activating the flower of love, but through that, the whole mystery school lineage was born. Activating was the first, and then we go into the embodiment of love, and then we go into the alchemy and the creation energy. So, but it was me following my sacred yes. So I would say my business is, my mission is me following my sacred yes, and in that sharing my enthusiasm with others to remind them of the power they hold within themselves. And yeah,
Beautiful. Love that.
leading with love. Yes.
Love that. Share with us an example of the most remarkable transformation you've seen through one of your clients so far.
Oh, so many things, like in souls, their light language opening, or someone being very shy and now standing in front of people, sharing her voice, sharing her, but also souls going through very challenging moments and then really standing in their truth. So from like, it's not per se, some people, they manifest the business they want, or they get out of the resistance and suddenly a lot of flow comes in their lives. But what for me is the most profound to witness is someone really owning who they are in every essence, and claiming their truth, claiming their, anchoring their soul love, and just saying yes to life, whatever, however challenging or however beautifully, following and knowing that the universe has always got our back. And so it's really, for me, it's witnessing how they become new earth leaders of the future. And new earth leaders of the future for me is about leading with the heart. It's about leading with truth, and not the sugarcoating, not the beautiful things where people like, okay, if you're going to work with me, then you will earn 10,000 euros a month quickly.
Yeah.
Sometimes it happens, but that will not always bring you the soul fulfillment. And it's
No.
that when people truly stand in their power, you just see this glow in them, and you just see them, making amazing changes in the world and in their lives. And but it's really about, it's just the witnessing, the blossoming of their soul. But it's really not, I'm all about tuning into the energy. So I find these things always difficult to explain, because I see their transformation in their energy field, and how they are confidently standing in their truth and in their power. And that for me is the most rewarding thing to see. Yeah.
Absolutely. Love that. Love that. Love that. How are you getting your clients?
Again, they are coming on my path. I'm not doing all I express myself. I'm being visible. I like, again, to create content. So I like to create reels and to create images and all of that. So again, I'm following my enthusiasm and following but what I notice is that most of the time people come to me via various ways. It's, again, for me, it really feels like this new earth way of marketing, where I constantly do the inner work for myself, and through that, beautiful people come on my path in ways I can't even imagine. Sometimes they find my book, or they are gifted my book, or sometimes via very ways I don't know, and they're just coming on my path. But again, it's me holding space, because there are moments where a lot of beautiful souls come on my path and on my mission and within my business, and sometimes not. But then it's also understanding that that's a moment for me for inner stillness and going deeper in my own spiral. And when I take responsibility again for my own field, suddenly the flow opens up again. So it's sharing again who I am, and allowing souls that resonate with that and feel a resonance with the flower of love lineage, and know they are part of anchoring love on earth in their own unique way, love consciousness. They will find me whenever it's time.
Beautiful. Yeah. Love that. Love that. Love that. Now, let's talk about causes. What would you say is a cause that is very deep to your heart?
A call, I think everything I'm doing is just, honoring this path, and knowing that I can be a contribution by truly coming back to the essence of who I am. So, and embracing then the experiences that I get to more deeply remember. For me, it's all about that dynamic, that deepful soul, and consciously raising my vibration and the soulful connections within and around.
When did you become aware that you needed to raise your, first even understand the principle of raising a vibration, and then taking the actions to achieve that for yourself? Was it something that came out, was one single event, or was it something more progressive?
No, it was more coming on my path in multiple ways. But it's also like, it's as simple as the moments when I was in love, when I met my husband. Everything just changed, and everything was joyful, and my body was good, and all of that. And it's noticing that moments when we are joyful suddenly. So it's also through the own experience, just like I think for everyone tuning in, moments when you are in joy, and when you are in love, or when you are just in this exciting energy, suddenly beautiful people come on your path, and inspiration and all of that. And suddenly the whole world seems into flow. So that really, for me, in a younger age, already noticed like the power of moments when we are in fear and what then attracts fear, and the moments when we are in joy or states of bliss and what attracts that. But it's really true. I think 5 years ago, that was for me a huge initiation that shook me up and really, awakened me to become more aware of that. And through the beautiful, again, but it is following that calling, that beautiful teachings came on my path. And I'm not about like, there's one truth. No, through all the different things that came on my path, there was maybe sometimes a word or a sentence or a whole part that resonated with me. And then it's honoring that. And it's finding your puzzle pieces. It's finding your truth in all the information that is out there. And yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. Love that. Listen, absolutely love this conversation with you. Love your passion, your drive, everything. But let's start to wrap things up. To finish off, I'd like to ask you a series of rapid fire questions on advices.
Okay.
Ready?
Yes, bring them on.
Right. What would you say has been so far the best piece of advice you've received in your life?
Follow your heart.
Love that. And the worst?
Don't listen to your now. I would say not express yourself or dim your light or hold back or
Imagine that you were blessed with a time machine and you can sit face to face with 18-year-old Kim. What's the number one piece of advice you would give to her, knowing all that you know now?
Cut away the bullshit, blah, and just be you. Unapologetically be you. That's what I would say. Like, let go of pleasing everyone else. Let go of being like you think society wants you to be, and just unapologetically be you and be present in the moment and see the beauty and the bliss and follow your heart. Yes.
Beautiful. And just be careful of floating bars, huh?
Yeah, that's it's a side note. Yes.
I'm not saying don't go, but just be careful. Put some extra mosquito lotion on your body.
Yes, that's a good thing. Yeah.
Love that. Awesome. Now, you do have your podcast. That's beautiful. And imagine that today you're interviewing the most special person in the world for you, which is yourself. What's the first question that you want to ask yourself? What's the first one that comes to your mind?
Yeah. That's a good one. Now it's blank.
What's the first thing that comes to mind? Don't think too much. The first thing.
I only see focus on the good, but no. What's the first thing that comes to mind?
What's the first question that you want to ask yourself if you're to interview yourself?
What sparks your soul? Yeah, no.
And what's the answer?
What I'm doing. Really, like for me, it's like my inner journey that sparks my soul. Remembering, like each time I rediscover new puzzle pieces of me, and then I get to share that with others. Yeah.
If you had the entire world watching you and you had 30 seconds, what would be your message?
Love, love, love. Love all of you, embrace all of you, acknowledge all of you, and just shine your light. Just be who you are. And love everybody.
Beautiful. The last question I ask all my guests, that's my favorite question to ask, and that is, what is the smallest thing? And by small, I don't mean something small. I mean the one thing you've done in your life that's had the greatest, deepest, most profound positive impact on both your life and your business. For me, for example, has been starting my podcast. What about you, Kim?
It's going deeper within, because as I go deeper within, I can share with the world from a more profound embodied space, and not being afraid of my shadows anymore and of my limitations, and embracing them with love. So because through that, everything that I created is birthed through, like, not out there, within. Go within, find, connect with, listen to your body, to your soul. I think that listen, there's a message.
Love that. Love that. Listen, Kim, absolute pleasure, honor talking to you. Love your passion. If someone wants to connect with you, what's the best way to do so?
You can find me on my website, floweroflove.love. You can connect me on Facebook or Instagram, or in my book, you can also find different things. But I would say connect.
Show again your book, both of your books, the one that you did and the one that you just recently. Okay, so this one, okay.
Activating Flower of Love. Yes, activating the flower of love, a sacred guide to manifesting your deepest desires and highest calling. And we have the Soul Love book. That is the co-author book that just launched in September. So
By Lucy, Igniting the Spark Within. Beautiful. Love
yes.
that. Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. I'll put those in the
Thank
show
you.
notes. Listen, I salute you. You're a true leader with a heart. Keep shining your light. Keep blessing the world. Your presence, your impact, your presence, your gifts, especially. Stay safe, stay awesome. God bless you. And definitely going to talk to you more soon in the future. We might do a
Yes.
part 2 in the next few weeks. So I
Thank
salute you. Have a fantabulous rest of the day in front of you.
Yes.
And talk to you very soon, my friend. Take care. Cheers.
Enjoy.
You're
Bye.
welcome.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.